listening to Tassie Encounters Moments on Faith FM, and we're coming to you from Tasmania, right across Australia. Each weekday at 9 a.m, you can hear what the Bible says about past, current and future events. You can learn how to study the Bible more effectively. You can get to know who God is, why we're here and where we're going. And you can experience personal encounters with Jesus. I'm your host, Jason Cook, and today Jacob Ellis joins us for the final time for a little while. Been talking about our topic on Tassie Encounters Moments this week, a grave misunderstanding. Jacob, maybe we could just start today with a bit of a recap, and if anyone's missed out in the episodes, they can go back and have a listen using the Faith FM Australia app or the website, faithfm.com.au. You can find our program on there. Just go to Browse Programs and find our past episodes. They're all there. So, Jacob, give us a quick recap of what we've done before we get into our topic for today of preparing for Jesus' return.
Yeah, we've been looking at the resurrection story of Jesus, and we've been saying that there are women who are expecting to find a dead man. They're expecting to find Jesus dead. In a dead space. They did not comprehend, or even his followers didn't comprehend that or understand that he was going to rise again. And so they did not think about his rising from the dead. And yet the question they're asked is, why do you seek the living among the dead? And we're taking this in a personal application. Are we looking for dead things in dead spaces? Are we trying to find life amongst dead things? And the challenge that we're putting out is, let's search for the one who is life, who gives life.
Sure.
Let's look for the living among the living.
And interestingly, today we still have many who are skeptical about the resurrection of Christ. I think most people recognize that he was a real person. There's historical evidence for his existence, but many still have that barrier to believing that he actually resurrected. But as Lee Strobel found out when he did the investigation, he was an award-winning investigative journalist, and he did an in-depth investigation of the resurrection, and he found that there was too much evidence for him not to believe it.
And I think he didn't want to believe it.
He didn't want. Well, he wanted to prove it false. He wanted to prove it false, and he ended up coming to the conclusion that he could not actually prove it false, and so he chose to believe. Yeah. So it's interesting that we're still talking about this resurrection, and the women and the disciples, they didn't get the fact that Jesus was going to rise again on the third day, and he did.
That's it. And we said yesterday, actually, imagine what the story would look like if they really did understand, if they hadn't forgotten, if they truly understood. And the scene would have been very, very different, and the impact of what would have actually happened after the resurrection of Jesus would have changed significantly. So yeah. And
of course, that brings us to today's topic, really, which is preparing for the return of Jesus. And Jesus really promised, did he not, that he was going to come back?
Absolutely.
Do you want to read about that?
Let's do it. And so the connection that we're making is, hey, we want to be searching for the living among the living. Jesus is alive, and he's coming back alive. And so what response do we then have for Jesus' second coming?
Are we
drawing the connection to the resurrection?
Are we living with that faith and belief and hope in the living Jesus?
Exactly.
So we're reading from John chapter 14, and we'll read from 1 to 6. It says, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God and trust also in me. There is more than enough room in my Father's home. If this were not so, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? When everything is ready, I will come and get you, so that you will always be with me where I am. And you know the way to where I am going." "No, we don't know, Lord," Thomas said. "We have no idea where you are going. So how can we know the way?" Jesus told him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me." So it's interesting here. Thomas was questioning Jesus. This was before the death of Christ, and he was still the one questioning the resurrection as well. So, but Jesus promised here that I'm going to prepare, and I'm going to come back.
Exactly. I'm going to come back. And there was something else in Acts that you were mentioning to me before, Jason.
Yes, well, Acts, the first book of Acts, which sort of flows on from the Gospels, really, doesn't it? I think it was written by the author who wrote Luke, Dr. Luke, I think. He was a physician. It says in Acts chapter 1, verse 3, during the 40 days after he suffered and died, he appeared to the apostles from time to time, and he proved to them in many ways that he was actually alive, and he talked to them about the kingdom of God. So
Jesus is alive, and he says he's coming. He went, and he's coming back.
Absolutely. And there's a number of accounts where it talks about both in the Gospels and even here where it says he ascended into the heavens, basically.
Yeah. And continuing on in a little bit in Acts, it says the same Jesus who you saw go is going to come back the same way.
Absolutely.
There is this certainty that Jesus is coming back, and Revelation actually puts it actually very nicely right at the end of Revelation, the final chapter in Revelation, actually, Revelation chapter 22, verse 12.
Yeah, that one says, look, I am coming soon, bringing my reward with me to repay all people according to their deeds. So he's coming back. So I guess the question that we've got to ask is, so how does that change the way we live our life today?
It's a good question. How does that change?
Just like the question that you asked earlier of the people when Jesus was crucified, what if they had have expected him to rise on the third day? How would their lives be different? Now, if we live with the expectation of Christ's return, how does that change how we live our life?
Yeah, absolutely. And just yesterday, we were actually looking at the different things, like what if they were actually at the tomb? But they knew where he was, and what if they were actually there? And so when we actually look at this from a second coming point of view, for us today, there's I guess rhetorical questions we need to be asking ourselves.
Are we prepared? Are we ready?
Are we prepared? Exactly. Are we living each day with the reality that Jesus is coming back? Are we actually prepared? Are we expecting? Are we living with anticipation that Jesus is coming back? And I wonder sometimes maybe we use this word forget a bit. And I mean, I've heard this so many times that Jesus is coming back. It's very hard to forget the fact that Jesus is coming back, but I wonder if I actually live my life forgetting that Jesus is coming back. Not just because I don't think of it or because I've never heard it before or it's just escaped my mind, but rather I just don't recall it. It's not coming. It's not a lived reality. It's not something that's actually inclined and cemented, I guess, in me. And so do we actually live with that reality? Do we live with the joy and expectation rather than a disappointment or a sense of fear of what's actually going to happen later on? These women, they were carrying spices, that they're carrying stuff for a dead person. Are we living with that joy, with that anticipation, with that expectation that Jesus is coming quickly? Do we trust that Jesus is going to do what he said he's going to do? We said, well, what if the women actually really trusted and the followers really trusted in that God's plan would be fulfilled? Do we truly trust that Jesus is going to do as he said he's going to do? I'm coming back, and we're trusting that, and we're living our life with evidence that we're trusting God and that he's going to do what he said he's going to do. I wonder, do we focus more on, before Jesus comes back, one of the signs he said, well, there are many signs to show that he's coming soon. And I wonder if one of those is persecution, time of trouble. Like it's going to be trouble like you've never seen before. And I wonder if we focus more on that and the fear that's actually happening there rather than the grand occasion
that something
that Jesus
amazing
is coming again.
Something amazing is going to come soon.
Exactly. A day that's going to be like no other.
It's very easy to get caught up in the trouble in the world. So
Absolutely.
easy when we've got media everywhere and trouble everywhere. There's violence and trouble and wars and everything going on everywhere.
Absolutely. And maybe that's a sense of why we actually perhaps lose hope or forget. But I want to encourage you. I want to encourage myself, encourage you, Jason, and everyone that's joined in listening is Jesus is coming again. He is alive and he's coming again. And we can choose how we respond to that. We can be like the women who weren't expecting it at all, or we can really think and meditate on it daily and have a heart that is truly expecting Jesus to come. And we look forward to that day where he will actually take us to be with him for all eternity.
It reminds me of a message that was spoken last week that the story of Jesus walking on the water, and when he did that and the disciples were in this storm that they feared for their life, and Jesus calmed the waves and the waters. And the message is really that if we've got Jesus with us, we can go through the storms. And we know that there is a storm coming, the storm, that trouble that Jesus talked about. But when we've got Jesus walking beside us, when we're walking with him, we don't need to fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jacob,
Thank you.
for joining us this week. And it is our last chance to claim our free book offer this week, so stay tuned for that.
This program is made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.
Our free book offer is called Memorable Encounters by Roberto Bedinas. There is a first encounter and the last one will come, but between both, we will have many more. So some of these change the course of our life, but there's one and just one that can make it attractive and everlasting. Now you can delight in learning through the encounters of other men and women who've had that one decisive encounter. You can experience the same today. Text in TEM50 for this book offer, free book offer. We can send it to you. TEM50, text to 0488 880 891. It's been great, Jacob, to have you with us this week, and hopefully we can do it again in not too long. As we go out today, may you be looking forward for Jesus' return. This is Brighter Day by Tad Worker, and it certainly will be a bright day when he comes back. May you encounter Jesus more today.
When will the morning bring us light? When will the darkness lose the fight? When will the toil and the trouble disappear? Tell me, is it near? Orphan find a home. Never again, no, be alone. When will the fear of the darkness disappear? Tell me, is it near? Rise and shine, get ready. Lift your head up to the sky. teardrops of a friend? When will we smile and with laughter start to clear? Tell me, is it near? And when will the Father be the Son? Light of the world, Jesus the one. And when will the cloud of His glory full appear? Tell me, is it near? Rise and shine, get ready. Lift your head up to the sky. Pain is for a moment. In the morning, yes, you'll fly. Don't you give up hope now, even when the words are hard to pray. Soon and very soon, there will come a brighter day. Whenever blue skies turn into rain, whenever love it turns into pain, God will sustain you. Rise and shine, get ready. Lift your head up to the sky. Pain is for a moment. In the morning, yes, you'll fly. Don't you give up hope now, even when the words are hard to pray. Soon and very soon, there will come a brighter day. Rise and shine, get ready. Lift your head up to the sky. Pain is for a moment. In the morning, yes, you'll fly. Don't you give up hope now, even when the words are hard to pray. Soon and very soon, there will come a brighter day. Soon and very soon, there will come a brighter day.
This program has been made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.